really pesky, as Hydras do have a massive amount of DPS and do great against gateway units as well as Immortals to a certain degree, considering that it only decreases their damage by 2. And now these Hydras are going to do a hell of a lot of damage, taking out this Forge, trying to take out that Forge in order to be able to prevent this upgrade. I would have liked to see some more focus fire go down on that Forge in order to be able to prevent that upgrade as much as possible. Whilst that's been happening, we do see Psystorm has begun and is almost halfway finished, and a lot of probes coming off the line now in order to try and counteract this, but it looks like ZpuX is piling on massive pressure here. I'm not so sure what Minigun can do at this point. He's warping in a few more Zealots, but he really needs to retreat here at this point. Minigun, these Hydras actually and Zerglings are doing a lot of damage, just reinforcing with more Zerglings at this point, since they are extremely fast and you can get them across the map very fast. Although that weapons level +2 has been upgraded, and now he's just going to pick that off with the Hydra since they do have their increased range. And Minigun at this point looking a bit desperate. I would have liked, it's such a shame that down in that first engagement he didn't have the sentries stay alive, as he would have been able to pick up that entire base if he'd have kept the sentries alive. But now we can see that all the probes getting in the mix here and killing quite a lot of the units here. It's a shame that he only couldn't. It's a shame that he could only reinforce with Zerglings, as they did go down quite nicely to these gateway units, and these Hydras eventually do die. So now ZpuX was trying to reinforce with some Hydras, but he's going to be pulling those back as quickly as he possibly can do. And this is a back and forth game. I can't believe how back and forth this is. We do see a cannon up, just being able to throw that down just before the Forge went down. He really needs another Forge up actually in order to be able to continue those upgrades, and as you can see here, ZpuX does have this base up and again, and he does have this layer up as well in order to be able to maybe transition into a hive once he needs to, since the hive being researched did go down here. We do see a spire as well going down. Where the frig is that spire? I must find that. Ah, there we go. That spire is going up. And we do see now Minigun is just reinforcing with a few more units, getting mined out very quickly on his main base here, and it seems like he's really going to need to get another base in order to be able to keep up with the Zerg, especially if the Zerg expands once again. He is getting quite high on minerals. He was at 1,000 at that point. I would have liked to have seen an expansion go down there. But making great use of these Zerglings at the towers in order to be able to just see what's going on, but sending a Zealot out in order to be able to take out that Zergling, and another Zealot coming out in order to be able to take out this Zergling as well. Zergling scout here for ZpuX in order to be able to see if Minigun does take his second expansion, but it seems like Minigun might be taking the gold expansion, as that's a great place to expand for Protoss. If you have a nice little bit of an army going on, these Hydras are not going to be able to do too much against these High Templars, as they do have that epic storm which will rain down upon them and absolutely demolish them. And we do see a few Overlords here positioned just to make sure that he can spot anything too tricky going on. We see a lot of Roaches here, and we also saw quite a few Hydras. No, not where are they? Mutalisks even in the production tab. They're just gathering at the front of the base here. So now Hydras, Roaches and Mutas out for ZpuX, whilst Minigun is trying to secure this gold expansion. As you can see, we're coming up to the 20-minute mark in this game, and it looks like it's not going to be ending too soon, as both players are quite happy in order to be able to just chill out. And that was interesting. Getting an Archon out, maybe. I believe that's because there's a fine line between how many storms you can throw down in a certain area and make them effective. So he's grabbing an Archon. I'm pretty sure he has seen the Mutas at this point, or the Spire, and Archons are great against Mutas if they can catch up to them. So we do see this Forge coming down now in order to be able to continue with those upgrades eventually. He really needs to start those, as oh my god, a huge flock of mutants coming around here. Sorry I missed that. And trying to pick those off with some storms. A nice storm landing there, but not doing too much damage. A few more Archons now morphing in. He really needs to get these Archons in on these, because if he can get a few shots off on these Mutas, he's going to be in a good position in order to be able to fend this off. Although the oh my god, a huge storm going down on those Mutas, but not doing enough damage in order to be able to fend them off fully. They're just going to be swinging around now, trying to take out these probes. There's not actually anything here to prevent this, so he really needs to get this ball of units up here as quickly as possible. Nice micro control from these Mutas here, still avoiding the storms, so really good use of these Mutas right now. And this is the problem that I have with Mutas, just their mobility, the power, the harassness of them And we do see that hive has been made now. Adrenal glands are coming up for ZpuX, although he doesn't have that many Zerglings, so he really needs to grab as many Zerglings as possible in order to make that effective. And the Protoss army is just so immobile against this unit. There's a massive storm going off, and they're damaging a lot of these units. And it looks like a lot of these Mutas have just been sacrificed. What on earth is he doing? Oh, but moving in with a huge Roach and Hydra Ball here. Nice storm going off on those Roaches, but it doesn't do as much damage as you would like it to do against Roaches. He really needs to get Storm on those Hydras in order to be able to make that super effective, just like in Pokemon. And we do see now an Immortal coming out, as well as more Archons, just reinforcing this ball of units here. An Ultralisk Cavern now going down for ZpuX, and I'm really enjoying the replays that I get from Minigun. They're really, really good. They seem to be quite epic in scale, nothing too short. So now this observer just doing a bit of scouting over here, seeing that these Roaches and Hydras are just moving back a tad, and this Ultralisk Cavern is... that's not an Ultralisk Cavern, that's an Ultralisk Cavern, is almost finished. And ZpuX is asking Minigun what's his rating, and Minigun is replying 2.5k. I wonder what ZpuX is actually. I'm going to check after, maybe. No, I can't be bothered. So we do see weapons level 3 now being upgraded for Minigun. I would like to see some armor upgrades. Oh, he does have armor +1 going down for Minigun as well. Where's his... he must have a second forge somewhere. Or not. He must have got that whilst I've been completely ignoring it. So now we do see a few Ultralisks on the production tab, and both of the players giving each other compliments because they enjoy giving each other compliments. And now, oh my god, big storms going down on those drones there. All of those going to be finished off, an Archon morphing in and bringing his whole force in order to be able to fend off a few Zealots and one Archon, so that Archon does go down. But the damage has been done, a huge amount of drones going down there, really nice use of those High Templar. And I'm surprised they weren't actually spotted by ZpuX. Although ZpuX is doing the double expand now, Minigun does spot this expand here. Going to be moving a lot of these units, no doubt, in order to be able to try and fend that off. Although Ultras are now out for ZpuX, so this is going to prove really bad for Minigun if he cannot fend this off. And I must apologise, actually, I've been casting tons of PvZ, but nothing else. But we'll bring some more PvP and PvT later on. I just like PvZ right now because I personally have a lot of trouble with it, so I really want to know what's going on here. We do see Kindness Plating coming out, as well as melee attacks level 1 coming out. Pretty slow on those melee attacks right now, folks. He really needs to get a good surround off on these units in order to be able to make this viable. Really needs his Ultras in front as well. Those few Ultras trailing in the back here. Nice big storm going off on those Hydras there. Huge amount of blanket storms there, ripping apart that army at this point. Nice production on Immortals here in order to be able to fend off these Ultralisks. These Immortals will technically rip through these Ultralisks once they actually get to them. Weapons level 3 almost finished for Minigun, and we do see now 30 Zerglings in production for ZpuX, so all these going to be rallying here. And a Great Aspire also coming out for ZpuX, and it seems like Minigun is going to be making a push into here, taking out those rocks there and setting up for another expansion ZpuX at this point. So all the bases have now been taken effectively, maybe in a minute. Minigun is just chasing down these units as quickly as he can in order to be able to grab them. And since ZpuX here, Minigun at this point does have a lot of High Templars, which are going to cause a lot of problems for ZpuX, since those storms are going to do a lot of damage. So technically all the bases have been taken until just now. So yeah, I got that right until just then. And a lot of Zerglings coming in here trying to flank. A big storm going off on everything. Oh my god, this is... I can't even commentate over that. That was just brutal. Those storms were nasty. And now all these units pushing along this Archon. Go Archon, you've been pushed all the way there from where you were morphing in. This Archon trying to reinforce, and it seems like these Ultralisks are going to go down. And it seems like Minigun is going to take this game, ladies and gents. Protoss ground armor level 2 coming out for Minigun, and it seems like that's going to be GG from there. I'm not so sure what ZpuX can do at this point, as that was brutal. That was, oh my god. And ZpuX does GG, and that is the end of the game. So, thank you very much for watching this cast, ladies and gents. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like what you see, please subscribe. And if you really like what you see, please donate. I'm trying to gather funds to get a US account. And once I have a US account, I can play with the US guys finally. And I can update my forum threads. And I can start laddering on the US. Oh my god, it'll be so much fun if I get enough donation. So, yeah, thank you very much. And I will see you guys next time.